the probate code, if the instrument does not provide sufficient satisfaction because the language is too generic or silent, which would be pretty unusual, but it does happen, then we look to the authority of the probate code, which of course is section 16243, 16247, and 16249, which creates both inherent and explicit authority. And go back and reread those sections if you are at the commencement of a litigation matter. Give yourself some guidelines and some road posts as to how you want to construct your engagement with the client. Now, when we talk about scrutinizing the nature of the action, that is to say, what kind of action are we confronting? Is it a petition to compel an account? Well, I think that if it is a petition to compel an account, I feel pretty comfortable telling my client, the trustee, that this is an expensive administration, and depending on the facts, which are never as good as I want them to be, that it is probably going to be a reasonable cost and certainly an expensive administration that's defensible, and therefore go ahead and pay my fees on a current basis from the trust estate. If it's an action for removal or for surcharge, then we need to tell the client, first off, that the risk is created that you're going to be found personally liable on a surcharge action. Obviously, that's the essence of what a surcharge action is. You could be removed and thereby deprived of the trust assets and yet still have to defend the lawsuit. So you would have to come out of pocket yourself. When those are the actions in front of your client as a trustee, those, again, you're going to have to think about, do we then get a big retainer? I had a very, very large case a number of years ago where the first act out of the box by my opposing counsel, a very well-known lawyer in Southern California, was to get my client suspended, was to attempt to suspend my clients, fortunately unsuccessfully. But I was sufficiently concerned that I told my clients to write me a large check to my trust account, which they did. Very nice clients. And so the basis we then had, if it ever came to pass, as it turned out, they were never suspended, they were never removed, and the case ended successfully. But if they had been suspended after having paid the retainer, then the argument would have been, okay, that's money of the trust estate that I'm holding in trust for the trustees, and we'll let the successor trustee figure out where it is at some point, or the trustees can use it as a war chest with the risk that they'd have to reimburse, but at least they wouldn't have to come out of pocket.